WWE 2K23 is here. Today we begin our brand new MyGM series, and we are going to begin a 4-man season as we pick our GM, and we are going to choose to roll in our first ever series here in 2K23. We are going to go with, from up, up, down, down, Xavier Woods himself. His ability is called Cheat Code. You see, we get select a superstar from an opposing brand's roster, and they will permanently join our roster. Next week, the selected superstar may not be a title holder, and it's not usable in week 1. A huge ability for Xavier Woods for our chosen brand. Now, when it comes to choosing our brand, we have between Smackdown, Raw, NXT, NXT 2.0, and WCW, which is awesome to see all these different types of brands we can choose from, but we are going to go with the blue brand, Smackdown, that gives us the Birth of Legends ability there. This is 6 random superstars on our roster will have their popularity increased by +6 from the get. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we will be in a 4-brand rivalry here for MyGM to get us started, as we can take control of Xavier Woods with Smackdown. We'll go up against Tyler Breeze in NXT, Kurt Angle in the red brand of Raw, and Eric Bischoff is back and he's ready to take over WCW. And as we get started with this MyGM series, we will be on AI difficulty of hard, which will make it very difficult for us, with a game difficulty of hard as well. As you can see, that will affect our mid-card matches, our PLEs, as well as morale, budget, and increase to injury. And we're going to start at the highest potential budget at $3.25 million with a snake order draft. We've also adjusted the draft pool. As you look at our draft pool, you can see every single superstar on this roster across the board is going to be in a specialist. This is going to make things very challenging overall, and it's also going to take out the rock paper scissors style of cruisers versus giants, bruisers versus fighters, and so forth. Now everybody's a specialist, so it will come down to which booker out there can make the best match types and put the best and most popular superstars in the right feuds. So here we are, it is season 1. It is time to get started with the draft. And our first pick is going to be Cody Rhodes, 59 popularity. He's got 53 stamina, which is a little bit low. Unfortunately, as you can see, the other first round picks, Becky Lynch will go for the gold brand, the gold and black. Brock Lesnar, the top overall guy, goes to Raw, and Ronda Rousey to WCW. As we're in a snake draft here, you see we are the last pick now of the second round. So McIntyre, Bliss, and Cena just went in round 2. We need to go ahead and make sure we get our key women's superstar. And looking at the top prospects here of what's available with Asuka, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley, I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley. She's a little bit less expensive. She's a huge heel for us with a ton of popularity and 88 stamina. So there you see the opening roster for year 1 in our MyGM here with Xavier Rhodes' Smackdown, led by Cody and Rhea Ripley. It's going to be a fun year. Taking a look at Tyler Breeze's NXT, they are led by the cover athlete there, John Cena, and of course the man Becky Lynch. Kurt Angle's Raw is led by Brock Lesnar, the #1 overall pick and athlete in this class, and Alexa Bliss. And Eric Bischoff and his WCW group is led by Drew McIntyre, and the baddest woman on the planet, you have Ronda Rousey. So there you get a look at season 1 and the opening picks for each brand, all about to duke it out for top brand and GM. And I think we have a pretty good class there, led by Asuka, Cody, Rhea Ripley. We have Gargano, Rude, Breaker, and company. It's going to be a fun group to see what we can do with. So as you can see here, we want to enter into the WWE Hall of Fame as a GM. So to enter this, we have to prove we're the best, and we have to earn 10 Hall of Fame trophies in our MyGM series. So trophies can be awarded through either career achievements or seasonal challenges. Entering the Hall of Fame will allow us to continue playing or retire our save file. So the goal of this series, ladies and gentlemen, we will go to completion until we get into the Hall of Fame, and that will be the finale. So the goal is to get there as soon as possible here with Xavier Woods. So now it's time for us to just select our champions here for the blue brand, and of course we are going to put the Universal Championship here on the shoulder on Cody Rhodes. His morale is even. He's going to have a huge +10 in his popularity now that he is our main champion. Now for the women's division, we are going to be looking around here. We have 6 key prospects, and a lot of them could hold the title, but I think it is best for business to put it on our main heel of the brand, Rhea Ripley. And taking a look at the seasonal challenges, we see we have to complete 5 challenges this season, 12 commissioner goals, surpass 400k in the bank, and book 8 Hell in a Cell matches. Those are some of the goals we're going to be trying to complete for our Hall of Fame trophy progress. Taking a look at the power cards we have it available for us to be able to help us be the biggest and best brand. We have currently Birth of Legends and Cheat Code. That is again our GM ability card and our brand ability card, where we are also able to buy some real steel for a steel cage match. We have health spa and injury. We're just going to forego those. Now, looking at our first goals here, Triple H has wanted to see how our first show fares, so we are going to try to make sure we do not book a specialist this week. Well, unfortunately, that is not going to happen because everybody's a specialist. Now, taking a look here, now we're going to take a look here to see who's all available for free agency. Again, we went in a little bit light. We're over $1 million in budget coming into week 1, and you can see the tribal chief, the head of the table himself, Roman Reigns, is available. He is 61 stamina, 63 popularity. He's a 10-week contract costing about $103,000. And he's there. I don't think there's any way I can pass him up. You see what he can brings in with 3-star power. He's a 3 out of 5 on the mic as well. We got to bring him in. We're also going to decide to bring in as a permanent hire here Dexter Loomis as a face for our blue brand here, and we're also going to try to bring in another permanent hire as we're going to go ahead and bring in Jinder Mahal, $142,000, just trying to fill out the men's roster. And here we go, we booked our first show. Again, the logistics and everything are very basic for week 1. It's not going to cost us a thing to put on this show, but we're opening up our first match, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. This will be a non-title match, and it will be a run-in from Dakota Kai, costing Liv Morgan the win. That will spark a feud potentially between Kai and Morgan. Following that, we'll have a call-out session where Asuka will come out to the ring and call out Rhea Ripley, setting up the big title feud between these two megastars. Working down from there, we have our first title match on the blue brand as we're going to have our Smackdown Tag Team Championship titles on the line with Gargano and Hayes teaming up against the team of Breaker and Rude for the Smackdown titles, with a self-promo for Logan Paul following. Then we have a mid-card match, an Extreme Rules match here for our Raquel Rodriguez versus Gigi Dolan, with a call out from Mahal against Dexter Loomis. And our main event of the evening will be a Universal Championship match with the title holder Cody Rhodes going up against the tribal chief Roman Reigns. This is a one-on-one normal match for the Universal Championship. Let's get in. So here we go. We're going to go through one by one, simulate our first show, and Rhea Ripley wins the match. Of course, it's only a 2-star. There's a number of factors to play into that. It goes up to 3, matter of fact, so that's actually not too bad. Now, unfortunately, we're not getting a ton of great ratings from the first 2 matches here. The rivalry didn't do as I was expecting for that. Now moving into the mid-card tag team championship matchup, who will take home the blue? And it's going to be the SmackDown championships are on Rude and Breaker, a 2-star match. Unfortunately, that moves up to a 2.5 after the title and all. Not great to get that going. Logan Paul with a good self promo. It gives him a +3 popularity to get it going. Now Rodriguez versus Dolan. How is this match going to fare? Rodriguez gets the win. It's a mediocre 2-star match, trying to start a feud there. Mahal with a good promo against Loomis. That gives a good rating there. And our main event, the Universal Championship on the line. Roman taking on the champion. And it's going to be Roman taking the title off of Cody in our opening show. It's only a 3-star match. So as it all shakes out, it was a decent show for us. So taking a look after the first week, you can see the star ratings for each brand. As you see, our opener was tied for the best there with NXT. Our mid-card second match was a 2.5, which fared to be second behind NXT. The second mid-card match was just mid-tier. The NXT killed it with a 3.5-star match, and then our main event fell last with a 3-star match. Everybody else at 3.5. As you take a look at the other cards, you saw Mysterio versus Jimmy, or is that Jay? Is that Jay Uso right here? So we have Jay Uso here as Mysterio takes the North American Championship in a 3-star match with a win there. You see the team of Big E and Randy Orton win the NXT tag titles. Becky Lynch wins the NXT Women's Championship against Tamina, and John Cena wins the NXT Men's Championship against Tommaso Ciampa. Over on Raw, now taking a look at the main event here, it is Alexa Bliss who drops and loses the championship match as Xia Li wins the Raw Women's Championship in a 3.5-star match. Ended up being pretty good for him. And the last brand, it's WCW. Ronda Rousey defeats Natalya for the Women's Championship. You also see a Tag Team Championship on the line as Dolph Ziggler and Cameron Grimes win the Tag Team Championships, and the WCW World Heavyweight Championship was defended. It was a Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley main event, and Drew McIntyre takes home the gold and is your WCW champion. So after our first show, we gained a total of 1,037,000 fans. It's a plus 37,519 fans. You can see on the far left there. The budget, we gained $28,813, and we learned also a few notes there at the top. You can see on the far right, Hayes and Gargano are an incredible tag team together. So that's important information. Overall, though, the show was very lackluster, which is kind of to be expected. The budget now sitting at $674,000 after week 1. Let's see how we fared compared to the other brands here. We're behind NXT by about 10,000 fans. They didn't gain as much money as we did overall. They had a few notes you could see there as well. So they're sitting at about $377,000 remaining for them. Raw gained 33,559,000 fans, $31,674 gain. That's huge for them. Puts them at 316. And WCW gained 42,469 fans. They gained $48,986 in profit, and that will put them at the end of week 1 here. Congrats, we earned a power card here by completing a goal to the moon. We are only usable on superstars with less than 60 popularity. Gives them plus 15 popularity to a superstar after their next match. That is massive for us, and as you can see, after week 1, Tyler Breeze in NXT, the black and gold brand, is leading on top by about 4,000 fans over Bischoff and WCW, as we fall behind by about 9,000 fans. But we do have the upper hand in terms of budget, which means we can spend a little bit more money on terms of maybe even getting more superstars in, better match types, and maybe even better equipment, show venues, and so forth. And Liv Morgan's upset as we move into week 2. She's disgusted and upset with Dakota Kai. She wants to be able to settle things in the ring with her within the next 3 weeks. Well, Liv, that's no problem. We will be getting that done as a rivalry match, as we promise her a match within the next 3 weeks there. Now looking at the journal here, we have one thing here from Commissioner Triple H: have at least one tornado tag match this week. We can surely make that work. We are 3 weeks away from our main PLE here of Extreme Rules. I'm going to go ahead and use our To the Moon card. I think this is a very, very important card to set somebody up for a main role on our roster, and I think it just makes sense for us, and I think for the sake of our brand, Carmelo Hayes is a huge asset to us. I want to eventually move him to be that top guy, potentially, so I'm going to use it on him. Right now he's in a tag team, but now moving from 50 popularity, it's going to be a huge get for him. We're also going to go ahead and use Birth of Legends, and this is going to increase some of our six random superstars here by 6 popularity, and you see right there some huge bumps for 6 of our superstars now getting more and more popular. Now, we talked about we had some extra money left over, so we're going to go ahead and do a 10-week contract, bring in the other half of the Usos, Jimmy Uso, a heel. We're going to bring him in, part of the bloodline, maybe come out there and do something with Roman Reigns, our champion. And we're also going to bring in another women's superstar here, as we got to go look around and try to find somebody down the line here. I mean, you got Bayley up here. It costs $42,000 for 5 weeks, which is way more than I'm willing to pay early on, but I am not against bringing in Indy Hartwell, $24,000 for 5 weeks, 42 popularity, 79 stamina. Gonna bring her in to add a little extra fluff to the roster for match types. And we've already gone ahead, we have purchased the Concert Hall Arena type. That's gonna increase some abilities here for us, plus it's gonna be a 5% show quality as well, and I'll give a +1 popularity, and it'll book superstars with a 2 power star power or more. Taking a look at our second week, our show is booked. We have the opening match here with the Women's Tag Championships on the line. They're up for grabs here between Dolan Kai, Rodriguez, and Morgan. We'll have a call out with Mahal calling out Dexter Lumis yet again to progress that rivalry. We'll have the Intercontinental Championship on the line, as it will be Logan Paul versus Carmelo Hayes. Should be a really fun match there. We also have a promo for Indy Hartwell to get some popularity up. We have a mid-card match here. This is a tables match. Cody Rhodes versus Jimmy Uso, and Roman Reigns will run in to cost Cody Rhodes the match. We'll have a charity promo for Johnny Gargano to follow, and our main event, the SmackDown Women's Championship on the line, Rhea Ripley versus Asuka in a TLC match. So here we go. We're going to get this started with the Women's Tag Team Championship. It's on the line, and Rodriguez and Liv Morgan win the match, begin a tag team feud. It's a 3-star banger to get us started. We have a call out as Mahal has an okay promo to progress the rivalry from 1 to 2. Moving on, we have the Intercontinental title on the line, and as it is Carmelo Hayes who takes home the gold, a 3.5-star match, and it begins a new rivalry against Logan Paul. Indy Hartwell with a decent promo gives her 4 popularity. That's great in her debut there for the Blue Brand, as we now have our tables match as Cody Rhodes is defeated by Jimmy Uso because of the interference there from Roman Reigns. It doesn't do anything for the feud, unfortunately, as Johnny Gargano gets us 5,000 fans from his charity spot. And then we'll have our main event, Rhea Ripley trying to defend against Asuka, and Asuka takes the title off of Ripley in a 4.5-star classic, progressing the feud even further. Here's a look at the card there for the NXT brand. We'll go ahead and simulate the full show in its entirety with 4 titles, it looks like, on the line in this show potentially. Looking at the red brand, we have 2 titles on the line as they're opening 2 matches, and the main event there, that's going to be very interesting. Let's go ahead and sim through that show. And last but not least, you have WCW. You have the Tag Team Championships on the line, the opener, and the World Heavyweight Championship on the line in the main event. So as it stands, looking at the drama curve, we fell flat. We finished tied next to last in the opener with a 3-star match. NXT absolutely obliterated in their opening match with Jey Uso versus, who's that, Rey Mysterio for the North American Championship. But we crushed it in the second match, the mid-card. Carmelo Hayes and Logan Paul put on a heck of a match, 3.5 stars, as did our mid-card match, the tables match, 3.5 stars as well, tied for best. And then the main event killed it, 4.5 stars. Nobody else even touched us as Raw with a very lonely, lonesome 1.5-star match right there. WCW, though, put a really good match on the table. So here's how it shakes up for us there. On our viewership and all, we gained 51,000 fans. We lost, and we no profit this week, lost $13,902. No new show notes, which is unfortunate to see. Nothing new there gained. And overall, the budget now sitting at $546,000. Looking at NXT, they gained 53,000 fans and $46,000 as well. Raw came in at 30,000 fans and $22,000 gained in profit. And last, we have WCW with 46,000, rounded up to 47,000, and $43,000 gained in profit. At the end of the week, we gained a brand new card because of fulfilling a seasonal challenge. We get a contract negotiation 1, adds 2 weeks to a free agents or legends contract duration. And we also just gained the injury rehab Power 3 card. This reduces injury time for one superstar by 3 weeks. That would be huge down the stretch. And overall, at the end of 3 weeks, we are still third in the rankings right now. Tyler Breeze over there at 1.1 million fans. You have Bischoff WCW at 1.89, and we're just below that. So we're right there on the cusp, but we got to do something to catch up with our buddy there, our friend there, Tyler Breeze. We got to be able to catch up to the black and gold brand. And it looks like Rhea Ripley not happy with the loss she just had, so she is reenacting her rematch clause against Asuka. She wants to be the next person to take on Asuka for the title. We'll make sure to make that happen, but it will not see the light of day before the pay-per-view. And it looks like Triple H wants us to have one backstage brawl match this week. We'll see if we can make that happen. It would be tough, though. So we've already gone ahead. We're in week 3. We're going to bring in for 10 weeks $72,000 Mustafa Ali. We needed another face to be on the roster here, so we're going to bring him in now as well. And I'm going to go ahead and look to see who's available for the Legends. I mean, we need something to help spice up things a little bit. Now, they are very, very costly, as you can definitely see, but I'm willing to spend that money just to be able to bring in a big name that can help us out for a significant amount of time and be a huge asset to this squad and to the blue brand. So looking through everybody that is available, I am very, very keen on potentially bringing in Rob Van Dam. I think RVD would be huge for the brand, as do I also think potentially bringing in another diva, Molly Holly, for instance, maybe even a Stacy Keeler, Brie Bella. Trish Stratus, obviously a big possibility as well. But I'm going to go ahead right now. RVD, oh wait, he's a fighter. Therefore, I can't bring him in because I couldn't change that apparently. So, so taking a look at our 3rd week here. This is show 3 of 25 for year 1. And we have a pretty good show on tap here. We also have upgraded to the Capitol Wrestling Center. Seats 20, a lot more people. It costs $20,000, but overall, the more seats you have, the more butts you have in seats, the more money you make. Let's move in to the show. And for our first match, we have a triple threat tables match between Lumis, Mahal, and Jimmy Uso. This will be a fun one here between the rivalry there. We have Mahal and Lumis. We'll see if this progresses it further as Mahal gets the win. It's a 2-star match, a stinker, but it does grow the rivalry out for Lumis and Mahal. Cody calls out Roman Reigns. It's a great promo, or a good promo. Gets the rivalry up to level 2. Mustafa Ali immediately after that taking on Roman. Roman, the champ, wins the match in a 1.5-star match. Not what we want to see. Asuka growing the rivalry up to level 4 with a call out, as that leads us to our backstage brawl match. A big match here, lots of money being spent on this, as Gigi Dolan with the win. A 3.5-star match grows the rivalry to level 2, and then we get another promo. Rhea now this time calling out Asuka. Let's just call it a backstage spot or something. Level 4 promo, very good. And our main event, it's Hayes versus Paul. This is a huge match. Hayes picks up the win yet again. 3.5-star main event. Taking a look at the NXT show card right there, it looks to be a pretty decent one. No titles on the line this time though. Raw, last place in the ratings. Again, the roster doesn't look great to begin with. We'll see what they can do. And then WCW, they're running in at 2nd place. They have one title on the line here, as it's going to be potentially, let's see if Natalya can pick up a win there against Ronda Rousey. And at the end of the day, not a great showing for our first 2 matches, but very good. Mid-card, second mid-card, and main event overall for us, as Raw had a much better show. 3.5 stars for the first 2 matches, a 3-star match for the mid-card. The main event fell flat for him though, but kind of all up and down all over the place. I would say the most consistent out of the bunch there was NXT with what they were able to put on here. Overall, very good job. They're progressing some rivalries here. You can see level 2, level 3 here between Cena and Ciampa. Very good stuff. They're also doing some charity spots here, trying to get some extra fans. We did all call outs this week. Bunch of self promos here for Raw, and a little bit of a mix there for WCW. Now taking a look here, we gained 43,464 fans. We gained a loss of $33,531, and we got a new show note there. Hayes is a natural in Extreme Rules matches, meaning we want to see him in those matches more often. So NXT, they need to beat 43,000 fans. They do by 49,000 fans, $15,000 gain in profit. They're continuing to roll along. Raw, they gain a 39,000 fans. That's last place currently on the list. They gain $51,000 though in profit from the show. And that leaves us with WCW that brings in 49,000 fans. They lost $14,000. So WCW putting up some big fan numbers. And overall, we gained a new spa card here. Health Spa 3. It'll recover 18 stamina for a superstar, but they will be busy for the week and not able to be in this week's show. We also have seen we are still 3rd in the ratings. There's a long way to go. It's 25 weeks. We have lots of shows to go through, but we are down by about 9,000 fans from NXT, as everybody pulling away from Kurt Angle there on the red brand. They're falling in at last. So it's time for the go home show. We're getting ready for a go home show for Smackdown. As you see, Gigi Dolan, I thought I'd left Atlanta for good. They're ready to be there. Show them what's missing, okay? And then Loomis, I've been talking to Rhodes a lot lately. I think it'd be great to team up for a tag team match. So Loomis and Rhodes together in a tag, I think we can make that work. And Triple H, his boy Johnny Gargano, he wants to make sure that he fights this week. So we're going to make sure we have Johnny in a match this week, and Gigi Dolan expects to make an appearance as well in front of her home crowd. We're going to give Roman Reigns the Health Spa 3 card to give him some extra stamina this week. We're also going to come bring in Bayley, $85,000 for a 10-week contract. I think we need the extra star power for the women's division. All right, we're here for our next week. You see, we're still going to be in the Capitol Wrestling Center. It's going to be a fun match overall, a fun card overall heading into the go-home show. We are giving Roman the night off. As you see, Asuka will take on Bayley with a Rhea Ripley run-in, costing Asuka here. Oh, actually, she still won despite it. A 3.5-star match. Nice to see. Dolan with a weak promo does progress the rivalry, but not exactly what we'd like to see. Mid-card match. This may be the stealer of this week. Johnny Gargano defeated by Braun Breaker. Not a good match, actually. Wow, I'm kind of surprised. Thought Johnny had put on a good match there. Dakota Kai with an okay promo and a call out there of Liv Morgan. But then we have a tag match here. It's a normal tag match. Loomis and Rhodes versus Mahal and Jimmy Uso, and Jimmy and Mahal win. 2.5-star match, not great. We get a promo charity there, gain 5,000 fans from Mustafa Ali. In our main event, Hayes taking on Robert Roode with a run-in from Logan Paul. Hayes wins despite the run-in. A 3-star match that will lead us in to our pay-per-view. As you see the card here for our other brands, we're going to go ahead and simulate past this show. Raw has 1 title on the line in the opener match, and WCW has 3 titles on the line, looking to make a huge jump in the standings. And as it stands, you see the shows, and Raw had a amazing opener. Holy smokes, Raw with 4.5 stars there. And a steel cage match, that kind of makes sense because you pay for what you get there in this game. So Raw putting up some big stuff there. Overall, we had a decent show. NXT, again, still very consistent. 2 3-star matches, a 4-star match, and a 2-star match. WCW with 1 2-star match, very, very quality as well. Now, for us, overall, you see on the left, we got 44,000 fans gained. We gained $42,000 in profit, and we also got a few new show notes on the far right. Rhodes and Loomis worked very well as a tag team, and Asuka is perfectly suited for tables matches. NXT comes in at 44,933 fans that gained $79,000 in profit. Again, just staying at the top of the board here is Raw. Gains 43,000 fans and $37,000 in profit. That's one of their best weeks, if not their best week so far. And WCW Bischoff's group brings in 47,000 fans, $74,000 in profit. So at the end of this, we gain a Veto Star power-up. This gives us the ability to block an opposing brand from booking the most popular superstar in next week's show. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. As we lead into our first pay-per-view, we're still 3rd place. We're about 10,000 fans, a little more than 10,000 fans behind the leaders. So we got some work to do, but pay-per-views are where we can make the big bang for our buck. Let's see if we can book one heck of a show here at Extreme Rules as we come into week 5 for our first pay-per-view. And as we're in pay-per-view week here, we make sure we want to get Hayes a rematch and a grudge match against Logan Paul. That's going to blow off this week. We're going to try to get that done. And we're going to schedule a run-in on one of your champions this week. Oh, boy. What do we get if we do that? We get free advertising booking one following week. We may get that done. I don't want to sacrifice anything if we can help it. Now, looking in at this, we can veto a superstar. This would be for next week's show, so we don't want to do that just yet. I'm going to go ahead and buy for $50,000 this other veto superstar card. The more the merrier. These things can come in clutch down the stretch in this game. And we're also going to go ahead and buy this health spa card as well, because you really do need those whenever you can get them at any point. And that leads us to our first show, our first main show, pay-per-view Extreme Rules, costing $20,000. We're going to go ahead and book it. So Extreme Rules is booked. We're also going to get the backstage crew. It's going to cost us an extra $10,000 there. And now we have a little bit better of a show for our premium live event. Let's book it. So we're getting into it. The opening match, Asuka defending her title against Rhea Ripley. This is in a tables match, and Asuka defends the title in a 4.5-star classic, completing the rivalry here at Extreme Rules. Mid-card match, we have Gigi Dolan taking on Raquel Rodriguez in an Extreme Rules match, and Dolan picks up the W. 3-star match, moving the rivalry forward to level 3. Time for the Intercontinental Championship match in an Extreme Rules match. Hayes, the champ, defending against Paul, and he defends the title with a win, a 4.5-star classic, and it makes the rivalry complete as Hayes can move on. Time for the next to last match of it, our second mid-card. It's a tables triple threat. Uso, Gargano, Breaker, and it is Jimmy Uso with the win. It's terrible, holy crap. And now it is time for the main event. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Extreme Rules pay-per-view main event as the American Nightmare, the challenger, who started as our champion back in week 1, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, looking to come here to Long Island and take back what was his, the Universal Championship here against the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns heading to the ring, his Universal Championship floating above the ring in this TLC match. It's whoever comes and climbs the ladder and takes the belt down will take home the Universal Championship. In our first main event of our first premium live event Extreme Rules, it's Reigns, the champ, taking on the challenger Cody Rhodes. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the first lockup in the middle of the ring as the titles way ahead of these two competitors, the crowd on their feet for this main event matchup. And these two men would lay it all on the line. Tables, ladders, and chairs used to expert destruction, and Cody battling back and forth with the Tribal Chief, the champion. But at the end of the day, after a reversal off a spear, he would hit the crossroads and climb the ladder to take back what was rightfully his from the very get, and that is the Universal Championship. Cody Rhodes would walk away at Extreme Rules as your new Universal Champion. Let's see how everything shakes out as we look to have potentially been the cream of the crop when it comes down to it. We have a 4.5-star opening match there, a 3-star mid-card, 4.5-star second mid-card, a 1.5-star third mid-card, which may end up being the fallout of all of this, and then a 4-star main event. NXT, again, had an amazing opener and main event. They were kind of lackluster in their second 2 mid-card matches. WCW struggled all throughout until the main event. And Raw started hot, ended hot, but didn't do much in between. So let's see how it shakes out in the reports. For our first pay-per-view, 160,000 fans gained. No profit, though, unfortunately. We lost $37,000. Braun Breaker, we learn, is a natural at tables matches. We need to see him in those more often. So you now have a $200,000 budget. NXT, they put up less fans, so we gained more fans than NXT for the first time. They actually lost $100,000, so that's big for us. Raw, how would they be out there? 105,000 fans gained after the pay-per-view, $24,000 in profit as well. Very interesting. And WCW, last but not least, gained 112,000 fans and a loss of $41,000. So at the end of our first episode here of our MyGM in WWE 2K23, we have flipped the script. We've gone from third to first as Xavier Rhodes' Smackdown is number 1 by about 5,000-6,000 fans or so. Our budget is not amazing. We are at $200,000 in budget, which puts us at third in that. Kurt Angle and Raw, they're first place, but they're last place in overall fans. So overall, it's a great start. We are now the number 1 brand as we're on the road to SummerSlam. And ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude this episode, we've been hit with a whammy here from NXT. A double cost has been applied. Double the cost of an opposing brand's matches. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, we've been hit with a double whammy now. Another double cost card has been applied, this time from WCW. They're all hitting us. Can we overcome 2 double cost cards? We'll have to find out in the next one. Y'all take it easy.